There it is. All right. Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric here from Moss Pond & Gun. And today we have a unique range test for you today. We're going to be shooting a custom K31 that we've sporterized here. Now, some of you guys that follow us on Facebook probably saw some of the photographs that we took of the gun and posted on Facebook, some of our fans there. But we really haven't had a chance to showcase the build itself in a range video, so that's what we're doing. It is a surplus K31 made in 1958. This gun has had some heavy modifications done to it. We've got a rock solid industry scope mount, very, very solid arrangement for the K31 that mounts the scope directly over the bore axis. Many of you guys have been asking about this scope mount, so we're kind of reviewing sort of like several products at once here. The stock on this gun is a Bluegrass gun stock, custom stock that they made, and they Duracoated it for me along with my action, okay? It's been glass bedded, all right? So we've got a good bedding job, free floated barrel. I did install aftermarket Hammerly trigger off of a surplus Hammerly K31 in this gun. It's a very light trigger, very high quality. The optic that we're running today is a Zeiss Conquest. It's a 3-9x50 with a 308 ballistic reticle. Pretty standard fare there, pretty high end optic. We are running some hand loads for you today. We're going to group the gun at 100 and 300 yards to get an idea what the accuracy is. The hand loads that we're running, we're going to do 168 grain Sierra Match Kings on Varget, and then we're running some 175 grain Match Kings, and I believe those are on H335 powder. So doing a little bit of hand load development, taking you guys along for the ride. The initial accuracy of this gun is just phenomenal. Earlier, Chad shot about a 1/2 inch group, so I'm thinking we can replicate that, but we're going to go ahead and fire a group, get down behind the gun. We're going to shoot a couple of 5-shot groups just to show you the inherent accuracy of the gun, and then we're going to shoot at 300, and we're just going to play hell on some steel here at long range and just showcase the gun. But I've always been a big fan of the K31 service rifle, and this build is just so scary accurate, it's not even funny. The thing shoots just so dang good. So let's get behind the gun, less talking here, and get to shooting. All right, guys, let's punch 5 here and see how good our little K31 shoots. So far, I'm really excited about the potential of this rifle. I'd love to be able to take it out to 1,000 eventually, but for now, we're just doing some hand load development. I'm going to shoot a group here, and we'll see how it looks. Really tight fit on the brass. On these K31s, especially when you get into neck sizing, anything like that, you want to make sure you give that bolt a good hard smack so it seats everything nice and tight. Now these shells, they will eject just fine. I'm just not really pulling the bolt back hard because I'm trying not to throw my brass everywhere. But if you give them a nice brisk pull, they'll come right out. That's actually what this deflector is for. It'll help the brass get on out of there. And for you guys that are worried about the rock solid mount, it won't hit your scope either, so don't worry about that. That is one issue with the K31s, is how they extract. I know some people have been asking questions about that. This gun just shoots so fabulous. I'm really loving it. Hopefully I can deliver the goods here. Looks like it's punching a nice clean hole through the center. Hopefully we can keep that going here. Feeling really good about this group. Hopefully it looks good. These 168s have always been a really nice projectile. They just shoot so well. Sierra makes an excellent projectile. It's kind of my go-to bullet. I've killed a lot of animals using both hornety projectiles, and I've also used some of the spear grand slams to good effect on game. I've killed a couple of game animals using K31s, and it always just drops them right on the spot. All right, that group felt pretty good. From what I can tell through the scope, that's probably about a 1/2 minute group. I'm gonna have a look and then we'll shoot another one. When it comes to shooting tight groups in your guns, you're always gonna have probably anywhere between 5 to 10 sighters. That's to allow the barrel harmonics to kind of get tuned to the load that you're using, to allow the barrel to get fouled out with the powder that you're using. You're generally going to get your best groups about 2 or 3 to maybe 4 groups in, you know, as the barrel starts to kind of get seasoned with that powder. Generally the way that works. Not bad. Let's give her another try. If that's the worst group of the day, I'm not going to be too unhappy there. That's still a good group. This gun is certainly more accurate than I am. These guns always have just shot good, no matter what. So hopefully my bragging isn't too unmerited. Let's see if we can deliver the goods here. So far, Chad's in the lead with his little bitty group he shot earlier. Yeah, it's not looking good there. It looks like I have one sling to the left, just a little bit. When you're talking about a gun that is this accurate, you're generally going to end up complaining about half-inch discrepancies in the group. So that's good. It's a good problem to have. Yeah, see that shot went exactly where I wanted to. That first round may have been my fault. It's hard to say. Not doing what I want so far, but not bad. So see, those 3 shots are all touching there. I just had a couple that strung around on me a little bit there. Accuracy is certainly not bad. Again, we're kind of getting into kind of chasing air castles here when it comes to accuracy. We're going to let the gun cool down a little bit. I don't think the heat's playing a big part. I know the barrel's not causing any kind of stringing, but I'm going to let the gun cool down a little bit, and then we're going to shoot a couple of groups with some 175 match. This is an untested load when it comes to the 175, so I'm curious to see how well it groups. So far, preliminary accuracy potential is quite pleasing, at least for me anyway. And then we'll group the gun out to 300. Not a bad first effort.
All right, guys, Eric's going to take a little bit of a breather, and I'm going to shoot another 100-yard group with the 168s that we loaded up. We decided not to run the 175s because it's based on different powder, and we don't want to foul the barrel out with H335 when we're doing basically some preliminary testing with the varget loading. So that's not really a smart thing to do. We'd have to refoul the barrel again to start grouping the 168s again or shooting them at longer range. But anyways, I'm going to shoot one more group with the 168 varget load, and then we're going to move on to doing a little bit of 300-yard work on the steel. We're just going to group it on the steel, and we've got a small auto popper target out there that's 6 inches in diameter. Probably try to hit it and then move on up to the 440 range and see what we can do at a little bit longer range. But let me see if I can get this 100-yard group to look like I did earlier. Seems like when we're not filming, we shoot the best, so give it a whirl.
That's the excuse we're going to use anyway. Good shooting. Good shot. See, your group is kind of turning out like that first one was for me, where I had about 4 of them touching and then a flyer. Good shot. Yeah, without your extreme flyer, about a half-minute group. So you just about replicated your accuracy from earlier. We just had one slight flyer. That's still a great group, man.
Yep.
That's probably about an inch, 1.2, 1.1 minute maybe by the time you subtract bullet diameter.
Yeah.
Guys, we're going to shoot the gun at 300 here, and let's see what it'll do.
Okay, guys, that group wasn't too bad, but it wasn't quite as good as the initial group that I shot with the gun, which was actually the third 5-shot group out of the rifle when we were just playing around earlier, just getting the gun on paper. But anyways, what we're going to do now is take a few shots at 300 yards. We've got a 22-inch round from shootsteel.com, and I painted a very small black dot in the middle of it as an aiming point. The idea is aim small, miss small. The smaller your aiming point, the less error that you're going to have to contend with. And basically, if you're aiming at a big target like this, you're probably going to group that size. If you aim at a small target like this, you're going to basically group as good as the gun is capable. But anyways, I'm going to take a 5-shot group on that 22-inch round, see what it does at 300, and then I've got a small 6-inch popper up there, and we're going to take a few shots at it just to see what happens. So theoretically, we should be able to hit it with relative ease from this range. But anyways, enough talking. Let's get to shooting. Okay, I see my shot.
Yep.
All right, well, that shot hit a little bit low, but I'm just going to keep my same point of aim. This scope is basically doped for 308, which this hand load is going to be a little bit slower out of this gun. So I'm going to continue to shoot 4 more shots and see how this gun groups at 300.
Good shot.
Couple inches.
Yeah. Keep them all in that range.
It's acceptable.
Yeah. Good shot, Chad.
Good triangulation.
Yeah, very good triangulation. Very consistent rifle. I've been very happy with that gun. If I can just shoot it good, I'll be in good shape.
I'll give you a mulligan today.
That's okay. And no mulligans in combat, man. Good shot. You're probably keeping them in about a 3, maybe 3.5 inch pattern. Yeah, that opened it up to about 5 inches. It looks like it hit to the left about maybe 1 inch.
It's okay.
But certainly not bad. You can probably ring that little auto popper each time if you just have about a slightly high hold. Maybe try holding about 3 inches over the top of it. With the 300-meter chevron, you'll hit it every shot.
Yep.
Certainly good accuracy. I think that that accuracy can be improved upon pretty good bit with time.
I think so. Very preliminary testing, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this was just a load that was basically worked up in another one of Eric's rifles. So it's just a good starting point, but we're gonna, like I said, do a ladder test and really get this thing cooking good.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's try that little auto popper there.
Yeah, man, have at it.
All right, I'm gonna use the 450 mark, and I should nail it right on the money.
Whenever you're ready, send it. Right over the top of it, man.
All right.
You only missed it by 1 inch. Dead center, though. I mean, that round literally...
Sailed right over the top of it, huh?
Yeah, man, by like 1 inch.
Okay.
Good shot,
Right in the
man,
middle.
right in the center. Do that again. And guys, you know, with that kind of accuracy, we're talking eyeball shots at 300. On game, 2-legged game. I mean, that's accurate. You're not gonna pop your head up over the, the berm when somebody's got that gun pointed at you.
Ooh.
Man, just to the left. I don't know if you could tell on the camera, that bullet bounced when it hit the back of the berm. That was awesome.
Pretty cool.
Well, yeah, let's back out to 440. What do you think?
I think that's a respectable idea.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, guys, we backed off to 440 yards. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to group the gun on a very small point of aim. We've got probably about a 2-inch circle drawn down there on the plate. It's a 22-inch round from shootsteel.com. And same load, same rifle. And Chad and I are going to shoot, see how well we can group it. We think we know where the gun's hitting, so give her an old try here. Perfect day to be out shooting.
All right. Just under the plate.
Really? Not high enough?
Nope.
Okay. Bring my hold up just a bit. May have to settle for a four round group. That's okay. Look
Good
at that,
shot,
right in the center.
middle.
All right, let's see if we can replicate that result again and again here.
Nice shot.
All right. Feeling pretty good about that. Just to the left. All right, one more shot. I'm gonna let Chad have a go here. Now that we know where the thing's hitting. Certainly not grouping bad.
Nice group.
That's not bad for 440, is it? All right, guys, well, that was my first effort with the K31 at 440. I've got this VisiShot target here. These squares are 1 inch. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of redneck measuring here, center to center. We're looking at about a 5-inch group right there. Pretty acceptable, considering what the gun is shooting at 100. That's very good accuracy. We're gonna repaint the gong. Chad's gonna have a go, and we're gonna see who wins the battle for lunch. I really hope this video hasn't been too dry for you guys, but we really enjoy doing this type of stuff. Load development, ladder testing. Anytime we're working with a really accurate firearm, like one of these K31s, it's always fun to just see what kind of accuracy can really be wringed out of the gun. So that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish. We will revisit the video, but without further ado, I'm gonna let Chad have a go, see if he can beat my 5-inch group at 440. Let's do it.
All right, guys, well, I'm gonna take a 4-shot group at the large gong, and then with that last shot, I'm just gonna take 1 pop shot at the auto popper down there, see if I can get lucky and maybe hit it from this range. And anyways, let's see who's buying lunch.
Remember the 600-yard reticle.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. And maybe later we can get a shot of that reticle for him.
Mm-hmm. All right, you ready?
Yeah, send it. Good shot, man. Right in the black. Good shot, man. Man, you got a great triangulation going there, man. Do that again.
Ooh.
Looks like I might be buying lunch today.
You might. Let's see.
Man, that's a phenomenal group, dude.
Let's not put the cart before the horse now.
Yeah, let's not. You could pull this shot.
No, don't talk like that.
You could pull this shot. Wow, dude.
Ooh, I think mine is tighter.
You just shot probably about a 3-inch group, maybe 3.5. So that's good.
That's more like it.
That's way more like it.
All right.
Are you gonna try the little auto popper?
I'm gonna try the auto popper real quick.
All right.
Let's see. Oh, just low.
Just low. You barely missed him by like 1 inch. Good shooting, man.
Well, very cool.
Let's go have a look at the target. All right, well, boys and girls, that's how it's done right there. Chad shot a really nice group here with the K31. Let's measure it there. I figure 4, but actually smaller. Look at that.
Just over 3.
Just over 3. Very good group. Center to center, about a 3-inch group. Very good accuracy, so that shows us a lot of promise for our rig here. The little K31 definitely delivering the goods today. I'm very happy with it. I'm sure with a little more development, we can get it shooting better. Maybe I can get it shooting better.
Yeah.
Seems like you're not having a hard time doing that, but that's how to do it. That's how to do it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was somewhat long and kind of drug out and sort of somewhat outside of our element, what we usually do, but we really hope you enjoyed today's video.
I'm sure I'm going to enjoy lunch. Didn't you lose this last time?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I'm gonna, one of these days I'm gonna learn not to bet Chad in a marksmanship match, but that's okay. That's what makes you a better shooter. You gotta have a little friendly competition to keep you on your game, and there's nothing wrong with, little competition, keep everybody's skills sharp. And remember, there's no mulligans in combat.
No.
So, when the chance comes where you have to shoot a shot in anger or a shot at game animals, say that you're on the hunt of a lifetime and you're about to shoot that one crucial shot that could win you, a Budweiser truck for the year, because you shot the biggest deer in Georgia that year. You don't want that shot to be the one you botch because you're expecting to have a mulligan. You can have bad days, but you gotta train to have good days. So that's what we're gonna do. But anyway, we will revisit this concept with some different hand loads, some ladder testing. For now, we appreciate you guys watching today's video. We'll catch you next time.
Take it easy.